Alright, we really need to talk about the state of Blade in Marvel Rivals. Like, he always feels so close to actually becoming good, but NetEase keep fumbling, honestly. Like, these latest buffs on Blade, they were good, yeah. They were actually really good quality of life changes, like the life stealing now being on his base form instead of only the lifesteal form on his ult. That's a great change, and him getting overshield and his gun shooting faster. But the biggest issue with Blade's kit wasn't only his survivability. The biggest issue with Blade is that he doesn't do enough damage, so people just out damage him, outburst damage him, and they keep walking out of his ult. His ult is really solid. It would have been really solid if people couldn't just walk two steps to the side and get out of the range of Blade's ult. That's my biggest issue with playing Blade. And also, another thing that they've fumbled with Blade is that they keep, like, micro buffing him instead of giving him an actual buff. And with the... not with the latest patch. The latest patch was only buffs, so that's good. But with a character that was already struggling in, what was it, Season 6, I think? He got some buffs, but it was also compensation nerfs. Like, what was that all about? You know, they halved his sword dash damage from 15 to 8. Why would they do that? They also nerfed the gun by removing one of the pellets. So, I don't know why they would do that. His gun wasn't even, you know, a huge issue in my opinion. For other players, honestly, his gun is the most balanced in the game. It always was one of the most balanced weapons in the game. It's honestly too bad because he can't do damage from range. But honestly, him having a worse gun doesn't really affect me because his name is Blade. You know what I mean? Like, his gun shouldn't be the main part of his kit. You know what I mean? But them nerfing his gun made him struggle even more, and they also removed the 40% anti-heal on his gun dash. With his sword dash having less anti-heal overall, it applies what is it? 8% anti-heal for every slash that you have to land. So in total, it's only 32%. So with his Season 6 compensation nerfs, he actually struggled a lot. But right now with Season 7, he had really good buffs to both his survivability and the ult getting a 20% anti-heal buff to 40% from 20. And it's actually really good. It's twice the amount of anti-heal. Currently, when I've played, I've managed to kill Invis through her ult. Obviously, it's if she's standing still and I'm chasing her around with my sword dash as well, because the anti-heal stacks. But in my opinion, Blade is lacking when it comes to damage, first and foremost. So right now I'm in the practice range. I want to show y'all exactly how I would change Blade, so that y'all understand what I mean, especially for y'all that don't actually play Blade. So what I would change first and foremost is his single slash damage, which is this. I would bump that up to 30. It's currently only 26. So it would do 4 more damage per slice. I think that would make him a lot more of a threat, especially to tanks. Because I feel like, especially when I'm peeling for my supports, let's say a Strange is in my backline. He just ulted and he's gonna do his whole combo which one-shots my supports. I want to obviously peel for my supports and actually be a threat. But this, right now in the practice range, it looks like I do a lot of damage. But obviously Strange is going to be healed by his teammates. So I'm not going to do all of this burst damage and just slice through... Or actually, it ain't even burst damage, but this continuous damage and just slice through all of his health. It's not going to work like that. So, with 4 more damage on my single slash, which is this, not the whirlwind slash, but only this, it would make me more of a threat. And I would also add 1 more damage to his whirlwind slash, which is that. that would make him have 5 more damage overall, like overall to his kit. But it does 4 more damage per slice, and one more damage per whirlwind slash. And honestly, it would be perfect, because now he does more damage to tanks, and also the supports, they feel like he's more of a threat. You know, he'd actually be a good triple support counter with only that change. But also, here's another thing they should change with Blade, and that's with his ult. Honestly, I love that buff where he gets overshield and lifesteal with his regular like gun form, or even his regular sword form. He does not need to be in the lifesteal form, so that's really good. But what they should change about his ult is either making the radius a bit wider, so they can't just step two steps to the side and just completely counter his ult. Like, for example, if these bots could move, they could just like look, they could just step here, and they'd be outside of the ult, you know. So either make it a bit wider, I don't know, like a meter, half a meter even, would be great. Or they could just, you know, apply a 25% slow. Like that. Those are the two main buffs that I think they should give Blade. But also, the compensation nerfs that they've given him, they need to revert them. So, as y'all can see, when I do this whirlwind slash, y'all can see it does more, like, really decent damage. You know, I still think it needs a buff, but it does decent damage. Whilst this whirlwind slash, which is in his sword dash, it only does 8 damage per slice. Like, that's nothing. Like, when I'm anti-healing a Venom, for example, or a Cap, or whatever, they're barely feeling it. You know, they're obviously feeling the anti-heal, but they're not feeling any damage. And it used to do 15 before the compensation nerfs. Would you believe that? 15. And they halved it. So I think they should bump it up to 15 again, because I don't think he'd be too broken with having 15 damage with anti-heal. Now, if they think it's too overpowered, then they could nerf it back down to 12, but it never should be under, like, 10. You know what I mean? Because this, it's not threatening at all. It's not threatening at all, especially not the tanks. And also, the gun nerfs, they should also revert that. Make it have 12 pellets again like it used to. Because the gun used to feel a lot better. Now, with the gun shooting 20% faster after the latest patch, it's actually really good. But it could obviously be better. And obviously, I've seen other, like, some creators saying that it's bad for Blade, you know, having drop-off close range. I personally don't have any issue with him having drop-off at close range, because, you know, he is a sword character. So that's that. Alright, so one final little micro buff that I think Blade should receive is the fact that his whirlwind slash should have the exact same range as his single slashes. So if you look at this and you look at the latest patch notes, it should say that his sword is buffed to 5 meters, but it's only his single slash. His whirlwind slash did not get buffed. I'll show you it right now. Like y'all saw that, right? The single slashes, the single slashes do connect, but not the whirlwind slash. So I think that they should obviously change that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So to summarize everything, YouTube, they should buff his sword damage to 30 from 26 and his whirlwind slash to 17 from 16. They should either apply a 25% slow on his ult, or give it like 1 meter, a 1 meter wider range. They should buff the gun back up to what it used to be. Maybe even give it 5% longer range would be great. Like a 5% damage increase from range, and hopefully fix the no regs, because it has no regs in game, which makes it really annoying to use. Just the sword slash, the whirlwind slash range getting buffed. So yeah, And if you look at where Blade sits right now in the meta, he's like, I've seen many content creators putting him in C tier, or like even some creators putting him in A tier, but me personally, I put him like low B. These changes made him actually playable, you know, but I think with the changes that I suggested, he'd either be like very high B, or he'd be like low to mid A tier. You know, it completely depends on how the meta favors him after they do these changes. But like, yeah, I feel like they should do similar changes to what I proposed. But yeah, we'll see what NetEase cooks up. They might even think that Blade is completely balanced and whatever. I personally think it's still a bit too weak. Cause like, look at the damage I do on Doctor Strange. It's way too little, right? So yeah, they should definitely do these buffs. And also another thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that characters like you know, that struggle like Blade, for example, Adam Warlock. He does 15% less healing. They did not give him any compensation buffs after removing his anchor bonus. And honestly, with a character that has been struggling a lot in comparison to other strategists, he definitely should have gotten this like a compensation buff. Maybe even nerf his overall healing down to 10% extra. You know, down to 10% extra, not 15%. You know what I mean? Like, they should have compensated it a little bit at least. So yeah, that's just another note, completely unrelated to the video, but they should definitely, you know, stop compensation nerfing characters that are already struggling, like they did with Blade, and they sort of did it with Adam Warlock, but they technically didn't. But you know, just give them compensation buffs. Don't nerf already struggling characters. You know what I mean? But yeah, everyone, at the end of the day, Blade is really close to being actually great. He just needs a bit more commitment from the devs instead of these constant half measures. But yeah, that's my take on the current state of Blade. Make sure to comment down below what you guys think about Blade. And yeah, just like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on Marvel Rivals. Yeah, if y'all want more content, just subscribe, click the notification button, and I'm Alchaj. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace. Also, if y'all want any other characters that y'all want me to talk about, just make sure to comment them down below as well. Peace.